Good morning, everyone. It's Penelope, and I wanted to share with you what I have done this week when I went to the grocery store. Now, we have our week to week discussion, and today we're going to talk about surprise finds at the store. You will normally find them in the meat department, produce department, or dairy department. So, what I recommend is when you make your list, have your meal plan and your grocery list. Divide your piece of paper. And I've been doing this for years, and I can remember, oh my goodness, years ago when I worked at the nursing home, I did this because we got paid every 2 weeks, and I would feed my husband and I on $80 for 2 weeks. And, there were some single mothers and mothers, and they were working as CNAs. And, it's not the best paying job in the world. And they asked me what I was doing one day, and I was just kind of sitting at lunch, and I was like making my meal plan and what I needed. And she says, "What are you doing?" And I told her. She says, "Well, let me try that." She came back 2 weeks later, and she looked at me and she went, "I saved $150. I said, "You did?" And she says, "I did." She says, "I divided my list up. I made my meal plan. I got my groceries." And she says, "I saved $150, and I want to thank you." And I was like, "Well, that's awesome." So yes, even early on, I've always done this, and I think that this is great. And when you're on a budget and you find surprise items in your store when you go on your grocery shopping day, that's when you can change direction on the fly. You've got your meal plan, and you know what you're getting ready to buy, so you can swap out your meal plan almost immediately. Okay, say you find a tray of chicken breasts for $1.52, and you have a pork chop meal on there, and you're going to have to spend $7 for your pork chops. Scratch those pork chops, buy those chicken breasts, and change your menu plan right there in the store. That's called changing directions on the fly, especially at the grocery store, because that is the way to do it. Because you've just cut your cost by $6. Okay, so that's $6, and then you can do something with them chicken breasts and maybe cut some of your other grocery needs for that day. Awesome. Now, I'm going to show you what I did and what I found this week. And it was a really simple find. It wasn't like a tremendous find, but I found baby spinach, this huge thing of baby spinach for $1.89. As you can see, it's half gone. Well, more than half gone. Now, spinach will go a long way, and I loved finding this because I haven't had any nice green spinach in a couple of weeks because it's just too expensive. So what I did was I was like, okay, what can I do with this? Now, something I haven't done yet is I am going to change one of these meals, the soup and salad meal. I'm going to change it this week, and I'm going to make an omelet with the baby spinach. So I'm going to cut my soup and salad meal down, and I'm going to make an omelet with spinach and onion and pepper and cheese and make a breakfast meal. So that meal is going to change this week because of this spinach. Okay, so when you go to your meat department, always look for the woohoos or the discounts because you can use them right away or throw them in the freezer. And that's a great find. If you find great deals on meat, snatch them up. Produce, like this right here, that was a great find because I normally won't spend more than that for this amount of spinach. And I really don't like to buy the bigger spinach containers unless I julienne it, put a paper towel into a freezer bag, and put that in there. I can grab that, throw it in a pot of chili. I can throw it in a meatloaf. So that's what spinach. You can put it in anything. Also, I found for $2.99, I found asparagus. It has asparagus, squash, and onions in it. And then it has some lemon pepper seasonings. I went ahead and got this because I have been chopping up the asparagus and the squash and putting it in my salads as I make my salads. I did not put it in my big salad bowl, but I've been putting that in there, and then I can use that for my chicken stir fry. My freezer food is fine. It's not going to go anywhere, so I can take a handful of some of that out and use that asparagus and that squash, and I can make a fantastic chicken stir fry. So I did get that also because that was a great find in produce. I did find discounted yogurt, and I did get discounted yogurt this week because I had a coupon for those yogurts even on the discount. So that was a great find. So I'll use those yogurts first before I use the ones that are not discounted because the expiration date is getting close. Okay, so when you find a surprise item in your store and you start changing your plans on the fly. Now, with the spinach, I was elated because my salad this week was only going to be iceberg lettuce, grated carrots, and peppers, and a little bit of onion. And then I would slice up a fresh tomato out of my garden and throw it on top. Now that I have the spinach, I have increased the nutritional value of my salad, and it is just a much better salad. So I added spinach to my salad bowl. Now, something else I did, I added some of the fresh spinach to my tuna casserole. You know, a handful of spinach to my tuna casserole. That bumped up the nutrition on it, and it made it look even prettier, by the way. My taco meat, when I made my taco meat, I julienned some, and I threw it in my ground beef when it was browned, and now I have some of that. Now, with my tacos, I can also take some out of my salad bowl, and I can put it in my tacos once I get it made, and I have extra greens in my tacos. It's a fantastic thing to do. My chicken stir fry. I will julienne some of that and put that in my stir fry as well. And like I said, we're going to change the Friday meal altogether and make it a breakfast omelet kind of meal with the spinach. So what else did I do? Well, I had a nice big square of cornbread left from my chili last week, and I found it in the refrigerator. So what did I do? I bought these beans not too long ago. We had the $1 off coupon, which made these beans 25 cents a piece. One is a Southern style white bean. It has bacon and onions and garlic. You know, for us Southern girls, we like our soup beans. Now we know you're a Northern person if you say bean soup. Do you not say bean soup down here? Okay, and then I also had one, a black bean fiesta. It has a mild chipotle sauce with corn and peppers. So I've got these two cans of beans. So what I did, and they're kind of already frozen because I did it early this morning. This here is a lunch bowl. It's probably quite a bit. I probably couldn't eat all of this in one meal, but I went ahead and I made 2 of these. I put my beans in the bottom, I put a handful of spinach in there, and I put 2 little pieces of cornbread in there. Okay, so that's a whole meal. You've got your beans, you've got your greens, and you've got your cornbread. Wow, that's like a southern meal. So now I have 2 freezer meals for me for lunch. Like I said, it's probably a lot. I do have a fella at work. Hi, Keith. And he will help me eat my lunches if I get too much. I'm always like, hey, you want this? He's like, sure. He always eats my lunch. So anyway, finding stuff on the fly or changing your menu on the fly when you find your surprise finds at the store. Now, dairy, like I said, sometimes that's your yogurts. You can go through on an early morning and they might have them half off. You might find some for 39 cents a piece, 49, 69 cents a piece. And that's a great deal because if you're shopping for the week, you can have those eat up in 4 days if you get 4. So you've added a dairy, a cultured dairy to your lunch or a snack or whatever. So you've added a healthy add to your meal list. Now here's the thing. When you do have your meal plan and you do have your grocery list and you start adding your surprise, you've got to start cutting back some of the other things. Like, for example, I think on my list I had, what did I have? I had zucchini. I was going to buy some zucchinis because my zucchinis are not ready yet. So I was going to buy like the 99-cent of zucchinis. I was going to get some cauliflower because they always have those on that reduced rack. Okay, well that was $2. So guess what? My spinach was $1.89 and it went further. Okay, so my baby spinach has gone into almost every single meal, and actually it has gone into every single meal that I cooked. Still have a little bit left. And what I'm going to do with this is, if I have any left after my breakfast meal, I will julienne it, put a paper towel in my freezer bag, and stick that in the freezer. So that way, if I make a meatloaf, you can add spinach. If I make mashed potatoes, I can add spinach to it. So meatloaf is one of these things that are coming up. If you make a pot of chili, add some spinach to it. You can add spinach to anything because it cooks down to where you can't really see it. And kids, they don't know if it's a parsley or, some kind of herb. They don't realize it's spinach in their food. And it is great to hide vegetables in things like meatloaf or soups, chilies, stews, and whatever. So this to me was a great find. I have put a handful in every single meal that I have cooked this week, so I have enhanced my meals quite a bit, each one of them. And then I got 2 lunches that now have some greens. So I have my beans and greens and cornbread. So I have 2 lunch meals, and I still have some left. And it looks good. So just know that when you go to the grocery store to do your week-to-week, take your menu plan and your grocery list all on one piece of paper, divide your paper in half, have your menu plan, have your grocery list, and when you find things like that, you change direction on the fly. You might have to take something off your list, because if you find those chicken breasts super, super cheap, and you find that spinach super, super cheap, you're going to take your pork chops off, you're going to take your frozen vegetables off, because now you have spinach, and you can make cooked spinach or spinach salad. So, you all have a great day. Bye.